have a very important guest today. Oh, this is my boyfriend's dog Shanks. He is staying with me at my parents' house for the weekend, and he is just the sweetest, cutest little man. Brendan's out of town this weekend, so I'm watching him, and my parents are obsessed with him, and they live pretty close. So I thought it would be fun to bring him here and have just a pretty chill weekend. And obviously I'm gonna try and read a good bit. I had to go downstairs and get my phone to figure out how many pages that I have to read today. I will be honest, my plan was to start this yesterday and I was supposed to read 168 pages, but I think I read maybe like 30. I wasn't able to do it. So we're actually starting the video today on Saturday. Last Saturday, I only picked up my phone 90 times. So that's all I have to read. That's not bad. I'm currently reading Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I started this 2 days ago and I'm currently on page 76. I actually read / listened to a little bit of it this morning. We went on about a 30-minute walk and I listened to the audiobook the whole time on either 1.8 or 2 times the speed. And I feel like the audiobook for this is just super slow. In those 30 minutes, I think I got through 22 pages, so not a whole lot. And then I read just a little bit afterwards. So far, I have read 28 pages today. I have 62 pages left, which is very doable. And it's actually a beautiful day today. The weather is amazing. And my mom has this chair in the backyard that I love to sit in and read. So I'm definitely gonna do that as soon as I'm done filming this. I need to get through this much of my book today. As for the book, I was super excited to go into this one and I actually went into it totally blind. I never even read the back of the book or anything. I don't know why I wanted to do that. I just thought it would be fun. I read Nora Goes Off Script by her a couple of months ago and I really enjoyed it. I feel like all of her books are pretty short. They're really quick and easy. They're all marketed as general fiction with a subplot of romance because I think in all of them our main character is dealing with a divorce. She's got kids. There's just a lot going on in her life. So the romance I feel like is still the main part of the story really, but there's so much going on in their life otherwise that it's marketed as a general fiction. And so far I'm really liking this one. It's about Allie who has 3 kids. She is now a single parent. Her ex-husband, or I think they're actually still married, they separated a year ago and the year before that her mom passed. So 2 years later she's still very much dealing with her mom's passing, and then to top it all off her husband leaves her and she's got the kids all to herself. Her life is kind of a little in shambles. She's actually a professional organizer, so she goes to people's houses and organizes like their kitchen, their closets, but she is not keeping herself organized in her personal life. Her house is kind of a complete disaster. She wears like the same pair of sweatpants every single day. She just does not really take care of herself very much. I think in this book we're gonna see her kind of getting back to normal life, like prioritizing herself, not just getting by day, which is what it feels like she's doing right now. And also there is of course gonna be some sort of romance. She lives in what seems like a small town. I don't know if it really is, but it's in New York, and she meets this guy who says that he's just visiting temporarily. They go on a date, they really like each other, but turns out he's actually her best friend's younger brother. So they both grew up in this town. They actually knew each other, but she always just saw him as her friend's little brother, kind of forgot about him or just sees him as like eternally 16 in her head. So when she met him, she totally didn't recognize him, didn't even connect the dots that could have been him. And where I'm at, she pretty much just found out that it's her friend's brother. I feel like I've already said too much. So I'm just gonna go outside on this beautiful day and enjoy the weather and read my book. And of course, read my 90 pages for the day. Okay, it's day 2 and I'm starting very late. It's almost 4 o'clock, so hopefully I don't have a whole lot to read, or I might not be able to get it done today. But just to update you on my progress, I had to read 90 pages yesterday and I read 92. Call me an overachiever. I think I was like, this will be so easy, I'll definitely hit my 90 pages, and I ended up falling asleep outside. So I was kind of rushed trying to finish it before we had people come over and we did like dinner and stuff. So I stopped right when I hit my 90 pages, and then I picked it up at night, right before I went to bed, and I managed to get 2 more pages in. So I'm currently on page 140. Last Sunday, I picked up my phone 114 times. That's how many pages I need to read, so I need to get to page 254. That's gonna get me kind of close to the end of the book, so that looks like a rather large chunk. This is what I need to read today. I feel like I just really like her writing, and I know that most romances have more going on than just the romance, but I don't know why. I feel like her books are a little bit different. Maybe it's just because it's marketed like a general fiction, so in my head I'm just believing it. I'm like, yeah, it's got a great plot other than the romance. But I just feel like I do really enjoy all the bits and pieces that we get that aren't the romance, but then I also really enjoy the romance. All around, I'm just really enjoying it, having a great time. Hi, so it's Monday, which is day 3 of this challenge, and it's about time that I come on here and give you a quick update. So yesterday I was supposed to read 114 pages, and I actually read 146. I think I was around like the 90-page mark, and then I had to go pick Brendan up from the airport, so I listened to the audiobook for quite a while, and I was really just hoping that I would manage to hit the 114. So I was really shocked when I checked today and saw that I got to 146 pages, which left me with about 30 pages left of Summer Romance, which I finished earlier today. I listened to the audiobook while I was working and while I was driving around during lunch. So I would say that I listened to maybe like a third or maybe even a half of this book on the audiobook, and I liked it. I feel like it was a good pick to do an audiobook for. I had fun with this, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I loved it as much as Nora Goes Off Script, which I ended up giving 4.5 stars, so I think I'm sitting at around a 4-star for this one. It's not like I have any complaints or anything that I just didn't enjoy about the book. I just don't feel like I loved it as much as I did the last one. Also, since I finished it on audiobook, I did hear the author's note, which was narrated by the author, and she actually pronounces her name Annabelle Monaghan instead of Monaghan, so now I know that. But yeah, this was a very fun read. I'm glad I read it before the end of summer. It honestly doesn't give me like too many summer vibes. I feel like you could read this in a different season and not really be thrown off that much, and I feel like it lived up to my expectations. I had a good time. Now for today, I have to read 118 pages, and since I already read 30 of Summer Romance, that leaves me with 88 pages left to read in my next book. And as soon as I finished work, I picked up Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, and oh my gosh, I'm only on page 21 and I am loving this so far. I have been wanting to get into Fredrik Backman's writing, and my friend Mick raves about him. She loves Beartown and this one. She read this one the most recently, and when she was talking about it, I was like, okay, I have to go buy it immediately. Like, I need to read this. And I am so glad that I picked it up already. I am so into it. I just love his writing, and I don't even know if I can explain it. I can just tell that he's gonna balance being lighthearted and fun with these serious, sad moments like really well. I knew I was gonna like this, but I'm into it way more than I expected, and I really hope that this pace just continues because I'm only 20 pages in, so maybe I'm speaking too soon. But in case you're wondering what this is about, it is about a man who tries to rob a bank and it fails. So when the police show up, he runs and he gets into this apartment that's having an open house, and I think there were 8 or 9 people who he has held hostage. And going into it, I did not know much more than that, other than the fact that the robber, I think, is having mental health issues. It says something sweet on the back. It says, as the minutes tick by, they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. So far, it's very interesting. We're kind of going back and forth between a couple of timelines. It tells you right in the first chapter that this guy failed his bank robbery, so then he made his way into the apartment, held these people hostage, and that all of them ended up being let go, but then when the police stormed into the apartment, he's missing. So it's very interesting that you sort of know the outcome at the very beginning. Obviously, we have to find out everything that happened leading up to that, and I'm sure that the ending is probably going to change a little bit, or we're going to find out new information. But I really like that we got that at the beginning, and we are following police officers who are investigating people who were held hostage. So I don't know, I'm just really loving this, and I cannot wait to get back into it, so I'm going to stop talking and dig right back in. My messy room behind me seems very fitting because I'm in a bit of a foul mood. But you know what? I'm here for my update and I'm ready to get out of this foul mood. So I just spent 2.5 hours filming my fall TBR and recommendations. But unfortunately, 50 minutes of my footage is corrupted. And I will say it's my first time having a corrupted file. And I don't like it. It is not fun. Do not recommend. And I have attempted to exhaust my free resources and they did not work. I fear my computer almost broke. I've just surrendered. Maybe I'll refilm that video another day. I'm a little upset that I wasted probably over 3 hours on that video. It's the very first thing I did when I got home, and it's now 9 o'clock at night. So anyways, I would love to give you a quick update and talk about something that I am loving, something that's gonna make me happy because I am not happy right now, and that is this book. So I actually don't know if I gave an update yesterday. Like, did I talk to you at all? I really don't know, but I don't think I told you how much I ended up reading. So I had to read 118 pages yesterday, and I read 30 pages of Summer Romance, finished that, and then I read 160 pages of Anxious People for a total of 190. I don't think I mentioned, but I've been going back and forth between the audiobook and reading this physically, and I really love the audiobook. And today I've also listened to a ton of the audiobook. So I have listened to 76 pages, and for today I'm supposed to read 133. Since it's 9 o'clock, I'm a little bit worried that maybe I won't reach my page count for today, but I will try. Okay, so I just did the math and I have to get to page 293, which is gonna leave me with just this much left of the book. So if I reach that, then I might as well just finish this tonight, which would be really nice. That would mean that I read it in 2 days, which for me is quick. And it would be quite fun because I am loving this book. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that this is not written in English originally, which I had no idea that Fredrik Backman is Swedish and all of his books are translated. This is translated by Neil Smith, and I think that this translator deserves some credit because I have read a couple of translated books before, and I definitely remember noticing things that were off. Things where I was like, that's kind of an interesting way to put it. Or just sentences that didn't really flow, but this is something where I would have no idea that it was translated. I just happened to see that detail when I first opened the book. The way that this book is written is just so great. I love it. I don't really know how to explain his writing. It's just really good. And obviously I've never read the original version in Swedish, but I feel like this translator must be doing an excellent job of just keeping Fredrik Backman's voice in it and the feel of his writing. It's just so silly and goofy, but at the same time, I'm really connecting with these characters and I really feel for them. And it's not just surface level. I really like it. And I feel like Fredrik Backman is for me. I'm so glad that I finally picked up his book. I feel like he's gonna be one of my favorite authors. I'm gonna want to go read everything that he's ever written. I'm just having a lovely experience. I'm probably going to continue listening to this on audiobook because like I said, it's 9 o'clock and I haven't done anything since coming home from work. So I obviously have some cleaning and other things that I have to do. You might not hear from me again today because of the aforementioned foul mood and because I will hopefully be just getting lost in this audiobook. Hi, it's obviously the next day. Today is Wednesday, so yesterday I had my goal of 133 pages and I got through 176 and I finished Anxious People, and I'm so happy to say that it was an immediate 5-star. That is one of my favorite books I've read in so long. That book was just so good. I'm sure you could tell by the way that I was talking about it from the very first day, but I'm obsessed and I want to read more Fredrik Backman. I definitely plan on reading the Beartown series, but that one takes place in more of a winter setting, so I'm saving it for the winter. It is 6:40 p.m. and I have to read 123 pages today, and I'm honestly a little bit concerned. I know I said that yesterday, but today I feel like I don't have as much time and I'm not sure what I want to start. I feel like I've already kind of blown through my September TBR. Looking at what's left, I think all I have is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and then The Cruel Prince, which I plan on doing a different video on. Is that really all I have left? It's only the 11th. How have I read all of this? Yeah, those really are the only 2 books that I have left. I do really want to get to this one and I feel like I'm gonna read it kind of quickly, but I just don't know that I'm in the mood for it right now. Okay, I just took a look at my fall TBR and I feel like I want to read this one instead, which is None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marney. This one is supposed to be very similar to The Naturals, where it's teens in the FBI. This just seems really fun and it's young adult. The font is really big. I feel like I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, and the last few books I've been reading have been pretty fast paced, or at least I've been reading them really quickly, so I want to continue with that because I was in a slump pretty recently and I'm trying to stop myself from going back into a slump, and I don't know why, I just feel like I'm not ready for this one yet. I really need to upload my footage and then edit that video tonight if I can, but I'm also going to meet my friend and go to dinner in a little bit, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have. I think for now I will go and import my footage, and while that takes a little while, I will start this book and see how I'm feeling. This lighting is quite harsh, so I'm going to make this really quick. I am sad to report that I am going to miserably fail today. I have only gotten to page 16 and I was supposed to read 100 something, but it's just not going to happen. It's past 11 o'clock and I need to go to bed. I've had a bit of a rough day. I'm having some weird stomach pain. I woke up at 3 in the morning because I was in pain. So I slept really awful because I was awake for a few hours, and then I basically was in pain all day and I still am. And I really just want to see if I can go to bed. But I had a lot of plans for today. I was supposed to film, edit, read my pages. All I ended up doing was filming and then reading my, 20 pages? No, I didn't even get to 20. 16 pages. So a pretty awful performance today. I feel terrible, so I just want to go to bed. And there's no point in making myself try and stay up and read something when I know I'm gonna fall asleep in probably 3 minutes anyways. So I am just gonna go to bed and accept that I failed today, which is totally fine. And hopefully my weird stomach pain goes away tomorrow and I can get back on track. Good night. So after yesterday's absolute failure, I am hoping to redeem myself and hopefully get a little bit more than just my required reading for today. It's Thursday, so this is actually my second to last day, and today is my highest page goal, which is 168 pages. I read a little bit when I got home from work, and then I had a ton of like laundry and cleaning and that sort of thing to do, so I listened to my last couple of hours that I had on Spotify for my audiobook, and since then I have been reading it physically again. I'm currently on chapter 15, page 122, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not like super sucked in or invested or anything, but I'm having a good time. And now I know more of what's actually happening, so I can give you a little bit more of a synopsis. So like I said, this is 1980s teens being recruited to help the FBI, and our two main characters are Emma and Travis, and Emma is the survivor of a serial killer, and Travis is in training to become a US Marshal, and he also has some sort of dark past. And because of their unique experiences and the fact that he's training to become a US Marshal and she's in college to become a psychologist, the FBI are like, okay, well, why don't we recruit them for the BAU, the Behavioral Analyst Unit, right? Isn't that what it's called in Criminal Minds? Whatever it is, it's the behavioral unit where they are studying serial killers to just help them get better at profiling in the future. And the reason that they wanted to work with teens in the first place is because they want to interview serial killers who are teenagers. And the idea is that they are going to exclusively work on cold cases. But of course, there is a huge active case going on right now that our two main characters are interested in, so they're kind of trying to weasel their way into working on the active case, as I'm sure all of us could have guessed. It's very similar to The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, but it's different because obviously The Naturals has 4 or 5 kids, I can't remember, and this only has 2. And in The Naturals, each of the kids has their own sort of like unique ability, and in this one they don't have that. I'm just now realizing this is like the worst lighting possible. Is this any better? I don't know. It is currently 8:04. I have 62 pages left, and I'm gonna try and knock that out pretty quickly, and we'll see if I get even further than that. Okay, so I just got to page 185, chapter 21. So I just hit my page goal for the day, and I really want to keep reading. I actually feel like in the last like hour or so that I've been reading, I've been getting more invested, and I have not really had the urge to pick up my phone or anything. Like, I just want to keep reading, which I am loving, but I think I'm gonna have to stop here, at least for now. But I just want you to know that I really want to keep reading. I'm about halfway in, and I feel like things are really starting to pick up, and I'm really intrigued. Okay, so it's Friday, which is the last day, and my goal for today is to read 128 pages. It's currently 11:15 p.m. I've been baking and doing a lot of stuff, and I feel like time has really gotten away from me. I really don't know how it's so late already. But so far I've made pretty decent progress. About 50 pages left of my goal, but if I can stay up, I would really just love to finish the whole book. So I'd have to read 120 more, which now that I'm thinking about it, probably isn't gonna be very doable. But I definitely should be able to hit my page count. Tonight I think is gonna be a very late night. I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of cleaning to do after my baking and a bunch of other stuff. So for now, I'm kind of taking a break from being on my feet and obviously just reading, and I feel like I'm really getting into it. I'm really enjoying this. And now that I know there's over 100 pages left, I'm honestly shocked, but it's also making me nervous. I'm like, okay, we could definitely get everything resolved in less than 100 pages. So what else are you gonna throw at me? It's not like it's super suspenseful or really intense, but I am very invested in the plot, and I do not want to put the book down because I just have to know it's gonna happen. So I am gonna go back to reading, and we'll see how far I can get. So it's the next day, and I'm here to give you my update on yesterday and just the entire challenge. So I'm pretty sure I left off last night telling you that I had maybe like 50 pages left, and that I was hoping I would definitely finish it and then maybe even finish the whole book. Sadly, I am not surprised to report that I fell asleep pretty quickly after that, which actually means that I did not meet my page count for yesterday. But honestly, I feel like I did pretty good. I really only had one day where I feel like I actually failed. I feel like yesterday I did pretty well, and I had a pretty busy day. So yes, I didn't meet my page count, but I'm actually not like mad at myself or upset or anything. I was supposed to read 128 and I only got to 105 pages, but today I actually finished the entire book, and I am so glad that I finished it today. I feel like this is a book that I'm just so glad I read it in, what was it, 2 or 3 days? So for me, I read it really quickly, and I feel like this is the sort of fast-paced mystery type book where I just want to binge it to have the best experience, and I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I was excited for it, but I wasn't going into it with the highest of expectations. I think that was just because I didn't want to compare it to The Naturals, because I I've heard that people like this, but it's definitely not as good as The Naturals, which that's a 5-star series for me. So it definitely wasn't a 5-star, but I genuinely had so much fun with this, and I think it's gonna be a solid 4-star. I feel like that was a great way to wrap up this video. I read 3 really great books, starting off with Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, which was a 4-star. I definitely recommend her books, and I want to continue reading the rest of her backlist. I just feel like I really connect with her writing, and I enjoy that it's not just a pure romance. It just feels different, and I really enjoy it. And I feel like this one was great to be kind of my last official summer read. Then of course, Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, 5 stars. I love this. This is my newest obsession. I need to read more of his books. Thank you, Mick, and everybody else who got me to read this. I am so obsessed. I think that I will be recommending this to anyone and everyone. And if you're looking for a good audiobook, I recommend this one. I actually read snippets of each one of these books in audiobook, and I enjoyed all of them, but I feel like this one was my favorite. I personally really enjoyed the narrator, and I feel like if you wanted to listen to one completely on audiobook, this one would be really good, and I feel like you would still get the impact. And then obviously I just talked about it, we finished off with None Shall Sleep. So let me tally up how many pages I ended up reading. Okay, so like I said, I had 2 days where I didn't hit my page count. On Wednesday, I only read 16 of the 123 I was supposed to read, and yesterday I only read 105 out of 128. But I'm still feeling pretty accomplished because totaling up the whole week, I was supposed to read 874 pages and I managed to read 893. So even with the 2 days that I failed, I still managed to exceed my page goal. And I feel like that's more than I typically read in a week, or at least the daily average is higher than normal. Now, do I feel like I was actually on my phone less because of this challenge? Kind of. On the days where I read a lot, I feel like I really just was not on my phone, which was really great. So again, I'm really happy that I did this, and I feel like I'll definitely continue to do these sorts of challenges because it is fun to have a certain goal of pages to read per day, but also with the twist of thinking of it more like this is for me to use less screen time and more reading time. So that is the end of the challenge, and honestly, I'm a little sad that I don't have a page goal for today. But I hope that y'all enjoyed. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!